Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Learning English with Podcast Conversation. I'm your host, Tony, and today we have a truly inspiring topic that I think many of us dream about: how to build your dream life. And joining me today to explore this wonderful idea is my good friend, Jenny. Welcome, Jenny.
Hi, Tony. It's great to be here. Building your dream life sounds like a big, exciting, but maybe a little bit scary topic, doesn't it? Like, what does that even mean?
Exactly. That's a perfect starting point. When we talk about a dream life, I think many people imagine winning the lottery, living on a beach, and never working again. But is that really what it means? Or is it something more personal?
That's a good question. I mean, the beach sounds nice for a vacation, but a whole life of doing nothing? I think I'd get bored quickly. For me, a dream life isn't about having everything perfect or never facing challenges. It's more about feeling happy, fulfilled, and having a sense of purpose. It's about aligning your daily actions with what truly matters to you.
I completely agree. So our first main point today is defining your dream life. How do we even begin to figure out what our dream life looks like? It's not a one-size-fits-all thing, right?
Absolutely not. For some, it might be about career success. For others, it's about family and relationships. Or maybe it's about having a lot of free time to pursue hobbies. The first step, in my opinion, is self-reflection. You need to ask yourself, what truly makes me happy? What do I value most? What activities make me feel alive?
That makes sense. It's like, instead of just saying, I want to be rich, you should ask, why do I want to be rich? What would that money allow me to do or feel? Maybe it's about security, or freedom to travel, or helping others. The why is important.
Yes, exactly. And it can be helpful to think about different areas of your life. Your career, your relationships, your health, your hobbies, your personal growth. If you could wave a magic wand, what would each of those areas look like? Don't worry about how yet, just imagine the what.
That sounds like a fun exercise. I remember trying something similar. I used to think my dream life meant working 80 hours a week to succeed, but then I realized I was missing out on time with friends and family, and even simple things like cooking. So my definition of dream life really shifted to include balance.
Yeah, that's a great example, Tony. It's easy to get caught up in society's idea of success. My own dream life used to be about having a big house and a fancy car, like in the movies. But then I traveled for a few months, and I realized my dream life was more about freedom, experiences, and simplicity. A small apartment with my books and a flexible job suddenly felt more, quote, dreamy than a mansion.
Wow, that's a big shift. It really shows that your dream can evolve, and that's perfectly fine. So once you have some idea of what your dream looks like, our second point is about taking small steps, making big changes. Because a dream can feel so huge, it can be overwhelming, right?
Oh, absolutely. If your dream is to run a marathon and you've never run before, thinking about 42 kilometers can feel impossible. But if you start by saying, today I will walk for 30 minutes, and then tomorrow I will jog for 10 minutes, suddenly it becomes achievable. It's about breaking down that big dream into tiny, manageable steps.
I like that. It's like building a house. You don't just magically have a house. You lay one brick, then another, then another. Each brick is a small step. For me, when I wanted to start this podcast, it felt so big. Learning about microphones, editing, topics, it was a lot. But I started with just researching how to start a podcast for an hour each day. And slowly, step by step, here we are.
And look at you now, Tony. This podcast is fantastic. That's a perfect example. I remember when I wanted to learn Spanish. My dream was to be fluent and live in Spain. But I couldn't just move there right away. So I started with 10 minutes of a language app every morning. Then I joined an online conversation group. Those small, consistent steps eventually led to me being able to hold a conversation, even if I'm not fluent yet.
And that consistency is key. It's not about doing something perfectly once, but doing something small, consistently. Even if it's just 5 minutes a day, it adds up over weeks and months.
Exactly. Small actions create habits, and habits create results. And sometimes you just need to start. Don't wait for the perfect moment, because there is no perfect moment.
That leads us to our third point, which is crucial: overcoming obstacles. Because let's be honest, building a dream life isn't always easy. We face challenges, fears, and sometimes even negative opinions from others.
Oh, tell me about it. Fear is a big one. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown. When I decided to leave my steady job to try working for myself, Many people thought I was crazy. My parents were worried. My friends questioned it. It was scary.
That sounds tough. How did you deal with that fear and those external opinions?
Well, first, I had to be really clear on my why. Why was I doing this? Because I wanted more freedom, more creativity, and I truly believed in my skills. That conviction helped me. Second, I realized that most people's fears for me came from a place of caring, but they weren't my fears. I had to listen to my own voice more than theirs.
That's powerful. It's like they're trying to protect you, but their map of the world isn't your map. I remember when I decided to change my career path. Some friends said, "But you're so good at what you do now. Why change?" It made me doubt myself for a bit. But then I remembered I wasn't happy, and that was a bigger obstacle than their opinions.
Exactly. And failure, or what we perceive as failure, is also a big obstacle. But failure isn't the end. It's a lesson. If you try something and it doesn't work out, you learn something valuable. It brings you closer to what does work. Thomas Edison famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work before inventing the light bulb."
That's a fantastic way to look at it. So don't let fear paralyze you, and view setbacks as learning opportunities. Now, moving on to our fourth point, the role of habits and routines. We touched on consistency earlier, but let's dive deeper. How do our daily habits build that dream life?
Oh, habits are everything, Tony. Our lives are basically a collection of our habits. If your dream life involves being healthy, then your daily habits should include exercise and healthy eating. If your dream life includes learning new things, then your habits should involve reading or studying regularly.
It's like compound interest for your life, right? Small, consistent habits add up to massive results over time. I used to hate waking up early, but I realized that my dream life involved having quiet time for myself before the day got crazy. So I started with just setting my alarm 15 minutes earlier, then 30 minutes, and now I actually enjoy waking up before sunrise. It's become a habit that gives me so much peace.
That's amazing, Tony! And it's true. The key is to start small with habits, just like with goals. Don't try to change everything at once. Maybe you want to write a book. Don't aim for 1,000 words a day if you've never written before. Start with 100 words, or even just writing down one idea. Make it so easy you can't say no.
That's a clever trick. Make it so small it feels almost silly not to do it. Like, if you want to be more organized, maybe your habit is just to put one thing away in its place when you enter a room. That's it. One thing.
Exactly. Or if your dream is to save money, maybe your habit is to transfer $5 into a savings account every time you buy coffee. It's not about big, grand gestures every day, but about consistent, tiny actions that push you forward. And remembering that bad habits can also build a life you don't want. So choose your habits wisely.
Very true. Habits are powerful. Now, for our fifth and final main point, embracing imperfection and enjoying the journey. This is so important because building your dream life isn't about reaching a perfect destination, is it?
No, it's really not. And this is where many people get stuck. They think they need to be perfect to start, or that their dream life means never making mistakes or having bad days. But life is messy. Your dream life is about navigating that mess with purpose and joy.
I completely agree. It's not about achieving a perfect state and then just living happily ever after. It's about the process, the growth, the learning. If you're always waiting for perfection, you'll never start, or you'll be constantly disappointed.
And that can steal your joy. I used to be very hard on myself. If I missed a day of exercise or ate something unhealthy, I'd feel like a failure and want to give up completely. But then I realized that one imperfect day doesn't ruin everything. It's about getting back on track the next day. It's progress, not perfection.
That's such a freeing perspective. It makes the whole journey much more enjoyable. And it's important to celebrate the small victories along the way, too, isn't it? Not just waiting for the big dream to come true.
Yes, absolutely. If you wanted to learn 100 new English words, celebrate when you learn 10. If you wanted to save $1,000, celebrate when you save $100. These small celebrations keep you motivated and remind you that you are making progress. The journey itself is where the real living happens.
That's such a lovely thought, Jenny. The journey is the destination, in a way. So to wrap up our fantastic conversation today, let's give our listeners some key takeaways, some actionable tips they can start with right away.
Okay, sounds good. My first key takeaway would be start small, but start now. Don't wait for the perfect time or the perfect plan. Pick one small step towards your dream, even if it's just 5 minutes of action, and do it today.
Great advice. My second takeaway would be define your why. Really understand why you want what you want. This clarity will be your fuel when you face obstacles or lose motivation. Your why is your compass.
And my third takeaway would be embrace imperfection and celebrate progress. Life isn't a straight line, and building your dream life isn't either. There will be good days and bad days. Don't let one off day stop you. Learn from it, adjust, and keep going. And remember to enjoy the process.
Fantastic takeaways, Jenny. This has been such an inspiring conversation. It really makes you think about what a dream life means and how achievable it can be, one step at a time.
Thanks, Tony. I really enjoyed it. I hope it helps our listeners feel empowered to start building their own dream lives.
Me too. To our listeners, remember, your dream life is waiting for you to build it, brick by brick. Don't be afraid to start. Even the smallest step forward is still a step forward. Take some time after this episode to reflect on what your dream life looks like, and then pick one small action you can take this week. Thank you again, Jenny, for sharing your insights and wisdom today. And thank you, our wonderful listeners, for tuning in to Learning English with Podcast Conversation. We hope you feel motivated and ready to take action. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, share it with a friend, and leave us a review. It really helps us bring more great content to you. Until next time, keep dreaming big and taking those small steps.